Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Well, good morning, Fin fans. Welcome to Top of the Tailgate. I am Ali the Persian, and this is Top of the Tailgate here on the Fins Tailgate. New morning show, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. every weekday. Let's go. It's 6:04 a.m. in the morning, and this is your weather report. It's currently 82 degrees. Feels like 91 degrees. Today is a high of 87, low of 81. With slight chance of rain in the afternoon. So stay cool, my friends. Current traffic report. There's been, in the last hour, there's been about 3 different traffic accidents with injuries. Stay clear of 79th and 90th Street, 79th Avenue and Northwest 90th Street. In addition, there's also an accident that's being reported on South Dixie Highway on the 2900 block. And in addition, there was also an incident reported in front of IFO Public Safety in the 1800 block Northwest 27th Avenue. So just be careful on the streets. Already some craziness in the last hour, but this is the Fins Tailgate. But how's everybody doing? Make sure you hit like and subscribe. It's going to be a good show today. I'll bring on my co-host shortly. We're just waking up in the morning, getting our coffee together and everything. While you're waiting, though, definitely check out some of our other content. We have the El Capitan show every other day of the week, doing interviews, putting out short videos, pre-records. Check out El Capitan and his stuff. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. And then you got Color and myself doing Cup of Coffee with Color, Top of the Tailgate. Late Night Exhale will be starting up soon again when the season gets going. Got a lot planned. I do Broken Takes. We got a lot of stuff planned in the future, so definitely check it out. And then you can check out Lewis and Shake Money. Lewis doing spaces and co-hosting with Shake Money. Shake Money has been going every other day of the week. You can also find him on Larry K's channel with Shake Money in the Blender. He also fills in for me on Saturdays till the season starts, and he's got some countdown stuff going on and everything. So definitely check out Shake Money. He had a great closed panel on yesterday. A lot of good Dolphins talks. Definitely check his show out. Make sure you hit like when you check out his show as well. And also, if you'd like to donate to the channel, we do accept Cash App or Venmo. And we also accept super stickers and super chats. We definitely appreciate. You don't have to donate, but if you'd like to, we definitely appreciate that. And while you're hanging out, you can also check out, some of the links that you see below. Um, Definitely some of our affiliates, such as
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
That's right. Fanatics officially licensed everything. Everything from, jerseys, hats, you name it, they have it. All the draft hats that I order, I generally get it from Fanatics. I always got some type of deal where I can get expedited shipping or certain percentage off of whatever I'm ordering. Definitely check out Fanatics. Make sure you use the link below. It definitely helps the channel out. In addition to Fanatics, you can check out Backroom Collections. Backroom Collections, awesome stuff. They got some really cool canvas artwork for all different types of teams, stuff like that. Not just Miami Dolphins. They have other teams, and you can also see if they can do some custom work for you. Some really cool stuff that you can hang in your office, man cave, entertainment room, your bedroom, place of business. Doesn't matter. They got some cool stuff you can put on the wall and whatnot. They also got some cool accessories for like those little mini helmets that people collect and stuff if you're interested in that. But you can use code TFTG at checkout, to save 10% off of your order. In addition, check out W Energy Drink. W Energy Drink, some cool, energy drink supplements. They claim that their stuff doesn't provide the crashing and jittering that other energy drinks do. Something that's kind of neat about them, how they're formulated. They don't necessarily include some of those artificial sugars and stuff that really is harmful to the body. They use almost like an all-natural type of caffeine. In addition to that, they do have some vitamins and supplements that positively affect the brain, that assist with concentration and focus and whatnot. So definitely check out W Energy Drink. If you want a true review of what the Fins Tailgate thinks of it, check out Shake Money's video that you can find on our channel. He does an actual, first time open box review of the W Energy Drink and can give you his thoughts on, what it tastes like and whatnot. So shout out to all of our affiliates. We definitely appreciate them. Make sure you use the links below. Definitely helps out the channel. Definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my lord, it's been a heck of a week. Already got some news good stuff that we can talk about today, but make sure you hit like and subscribe. Also, shout out to our members, by the way. If you like more content, more Fins Tailgate, definitely see about becoming a member. You can get some more access, early access, some cool emojis and different stuff that come with being a member. There's 3 different levels. There's Familia, Amigos, MVP. And there might be another one coming soon. I got to talk to El Cap about it. But there's there's different opportunities there. And also you may have saw the commercial earlier. Definitely check out our website, the Fins Tail. It's tftgnetwork.com. So definitely check that out. We have a new merch store, all different types of merch, not just t-shirts and hats and stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's blanket, flags, banners. There's mouse pads, different cups and all that kind of stuff. Definitely check it out. Definitely some good stuff. You can also learn a little bit more about the Fins Tailgate and the people that are on the Fins Tailgate there. In addition to that, we're going to start doing articles and blogs and stuff like that, that we're going to be putting out about what our thoughts are on the Miami Dolphins going forward. So that's something to look forward to. And also you get an instant feed of, our Twitter and our playlists and everything. So if you missed our content or want more of like a specific person's content, that's a good way to actually access that information as well. And if you join the newsletter, you actually get 10% off of our merch store. So definitely check that out as well. All right, like I said, hit like and subscribe. Let's shout out to see who's in the chat with us. California, shout out to you. Carla, shout out to you. Flava J, good morning, Dolphins. Love the early AM content. Well, we love you, bro. Definitely. C Huffle is here. What's up, man? Q, 11 p.m. there. Wow. I really appreciate you coming on the show, bro. I know it's quite a bit of difference of hours and stuff, so definitely. V21, I see you, man. Let's see. We got S Harris. How's it going, buddy? And Mark. Mark, I see you, man. Being in New Mexico, it's probably about what, 3 o'clock in the morning there. So damn, I appreciate you being here, man. Mark is our resident Bills fan. It's actually good that you're here, man. We'll get into it a little bit later. And when I bring color up, we got some things to talk about the Buffalo Bills and what has transpired of the whole issue with Stefon Diggs, the reason he's out and stuff. There was some updates that we got from Ian Rappaport and whatnot. We'll definitely talk about that. So with that being said, let's keep it going. And I'm actually gonna introduce the man, the myth, the legend here. Let me give him some good music to come into. So actually, no, I don't want that. Let's do something different. Here we go. All right, so the myth, the legend. Color, what's up, Color?
Sleeping Giant.
Sleeping Giant. So man,
yeah.
the myth, legend, Sleeping Giant.
Yeah, I'm still working on getting myself my bell rung and getting up and waking up. So you're gonna give me a couple more minutes. But did you mention what flavor of coffee, or we're still on the light blend from?
That's why I just brought
Black
you.
Rifle.
That's why I just brought you, because that's our next subject. So, coffee of the week. If you missed yesterday's episode, I talked a little bit about my coffee of the week. Each week, I'm going to be trying out a new coffee. And just so you know, so there's clarification, we're not affiliated with any of these companies that we're reviewing or giving our thoughts on as coffee of the week. I'm not paid by them. They're not a sponsor. None of that.
Yep, we're just nice guys at a nice network that gives people free promos.
That is true. In addition to that, I'm starting to become a little bit of a coffee connoisseur, and I really enjoy coffee, and Color and I both do, and we like to talk about the coffees we try and give our thoughts. So my coffee of the week that I mentioned yesterday was Black Rifle Coffee Company. Now, some things I thought very interesting about them, and before I go into that, you can find them primarily either at Walmart now, or some of our sporting goods stores such as Bass Pro Shop. That's where I've seen it. You can also buy it online directly from their website, which is I believe it's Black Rifle Coffee Company. So definitely check them out. They have their own, and just so you know, they have their own YouTube show and whatnot, and they also have their marketing. We'll talk about their marketing before the flavor. So their marketing is very military-ish, and the reason I say that is because if you didn't know, their company is primarily owned and run by veterans. That's primarily who they employ, and some of the proceeds of their product, from what I've been told and understood on their website, goes towards veterans, law enforcement, firefighters, essential workers, and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. About their coffee is primarily either a Guatemalan or a Brazilian bean. All of their beans and coffee get transported directly from the farms directly to their roasting facilities. They have a huge palette of different flavors. You can go to their website, and again, their website is blackriflecoffee.com. Right off the get-go, when you go to their site, you'll see what I'm talking about when it comes to being very marketed towards the military and whatnot. You'll see it right off the bat. But if you go there,
so you're saying they're military-ish, but not militant.
Yeah, I guess that's how you would say it. It's just funny. Like, for example, they have flavors called Gunship. There's another one that's called Coffee or Die. You know, there's a lot of different, you know, ones that they have, and this one is called Loyalty Roast, and the box of it has like, I don't know if you can actually see. Yeah, I'll show you this. It has like this. It looks like some type of canine of some kind. And it's like each when you look at the different flavors, they're gonna have different stuff on them and stuff that you'll kind of get that military vibe, kind of. This is a light roast. I've never really had a light roast until now. I'm not necessarily like in love with it, but it's okay. It's a little bit too light for my liking. I like more of a medium roast. So I think next time when I try a flavor from this company, I'm gonna make sure it's at least a medium roast. It does have some, and we're talking about the flavor now. It does have some earth tones to it. I kind of tasted that a little bit. It's just lightly bitter, if you know what I mean, Color.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
so that's
BO. No, I'm just kidding. Like patchouli.
Yeah, it's just a little bit lighter. Yeah, that's what I would say. It's like kind of an earthy, lighter coffee.
Just tell them it's the stuff the hippies drink.
Oh damn, Color! We're not trying to go after people this morning.
It's hippie coffee. Just admit it.
I guess it is. I don't know. I don't really know what hippie coffee is, to be honest. Remember, I'm new to this.
It's the kind of coffee they drink out after in the morning after the kumbaya. Everybody's got shaggy armpits and everybody stinks and like earth tones, and we all like to have a light coffee blend because none of us want to be too harsh on our palate. Yeah. So there you go.
So Mark corrected me. It's actually like 4:13 a.m. at the time when I mentioned his time. So thank you for correcting me on that.
Well, good thing I'm sleeping and he's not.
That's true. But yeah, that's my
By
coffee.
the way, if you're wondering why I'm so behind schedule, I couldn't get to sleep last night after the team meeting, and I decided to put some work into my quarterback list, and I got about 3/4 of the way done. So, man, it's coming soon. I should have it done shortly. I'm just cracking the numbers on it, and I kind of fell asleep a little late after working on it. But I'll have that ready pretty dang soon. We're going to be firing up the top 25 most productive passers of 2022.
Well, that's really good to hear.
I'll explain why I call them passers and not quarterbacks.
Definitely. So, Color, I'm gonna move on to cause for cleats this week, just so you know.
Oh yeah, sure,
and that will include.
Color. You know, he's passed out and like sluggish and slow. We'll just move on past the old man into cause for cleats.
Oh man, Color, Color with the jokes today. No, Color. What I was gonna let you know, there's a video I'm gonna be playing that goes along with that will give you some time to get some coffee and stuff, because you said you needed a few minutes still.
Yeah, I absolutely do. I'm roughing it right now, so I will I will be getting myself up and at 'em. I'm pretty sure. If you didn't get the traffic report from Ali, it's whatever way you're going, turn the other way around. That is the official Miami traffic report. You can hear the helicopter in the background. That's me flying in the helicopter, and yeah, you need to go the other way.
Definitely. All right, so we're gonna go to cause for cleats, and let me get that here. Okay, so today's cause for cleats, just so you know, is Helsinki's Hope Foundation. And the Hope Foundation, just so you're aware, Helsinki's Hope Foundation is a nonprofit organization formed to promote awareness and education of mental health and wellness for student athletes. The foundation's mission is to educate, advocate, and eliminate the stigma associated with mental illness while funding programs that provide student athletes with the tools and resources that support their mental health and wellness. Their vision, the Helinski Hope Foundation, was founded in 2018 by Mark and Kim Helinski to honor the life of their son, Tyler. Helinski's Hope helps colleges and universities save lives, eliminate stigma, and scale mental wellness programs for student athletes. Helinski's Hope does this by sharing Tyler's story, which I'm going to be playing a video here shortly, connecting with students with mental health resources and assisting universities to institutionalize best practices. Helinski's Hope envisions a world where mental health is supported in parity with physical health and equally prioritized by universities as connected to athletic performance. Now, some interesting information regarding mental illness among student athletes in college. About 30% of student athletes, from my understanding, have been diagnosed with mental illness of some kind, right? That's 30% of all student athletes in college. There's about 520,000, I want to say about 520,000 student athletes in today in the NCAA. It may be more than that, but that's the estimate I could find. In addition to that, 30% of that's about 152,000 students that this affects. So essentially, it's basically 1 in almost 3 people, I want to say. For 1 in every 3 student athletes, they may be affected by mental illness somehow. So that's some thoughts to keep in the back of your head. While we're hanging out, though, I'm going to play this video to kind of give you more information about Helinski's Hope Foundation.
This was a light that burned from within and shone out into the world in beams of joy that lit up everything around him.
No, not one time. Have I ever seen him down, ever?
He really was this bright light in a room, and it almost as if the weight of the world was never on his shoulders. He always stood tall. He always had a smile on his face.
Breezy, bright smiles.
His smile is beautiful. And when he smiles, his eyes get these little lines.
Laser beam throws.
And I know that I'm going to be going to a great program in Wazoo and playing for head coach Mike Leach. I can't wait. I'm excited.
He is a really easygoing guy. He's everybody's type.
And moments of sheer electricity that ignited a legend.
And he left and he went to Pullman because he loved the people.
What he did on a Saturday night on the Palouse. Against Boise State, against all odds.
Touchdown, Washington State.
I mean, he played like Superman, almost.
Will be talked about forever.
A rush of 4. Helinski has time.
Left. Clark made it to catch me to the 20-yard line. More over the 10.
Touchdown, Washington State. Touchdown, Washington State if it stands.
The ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
It's a comeback for the ages. An all-time Cougar win.
They carried him off the field that night under the lights. There were a lot of things right with Tyler Helinski, but there was something wrong too. Something dark and ominous that took hold of his soul and wouldn't let go.
Finally just kind of opened up and said, I'm sad, but I can't base the sadness off anything. I can't pick one thing that I'm sad about. It's just an overwhelming sadness.
That overwhelming sadness was depression, mental illness. A week after Tyler took his own life, hundreds and hundreds of people gathered at the Cougar statue in front of Martin Stadium. Not a word was spoken, but 1,000 questions were asked, and they are still being asked. If even the brightest and the strongest are no match for the disease, what chance do the rest of us have?
If you have a sprained ankle, you go see the trainer. If you if you get hit in the head, you got to go through a concussion protocol. And we have to start to treat, some of this mental illness stuff the same way.
But Tyler's light still shines. It shines on research and science. It shines on shattering stigmas, and it illuminates the mystifying darkness that surrounds mental illness. It's a path, a beacon. It's a hope. We call it Hilinski's Hope.
All right, so that's a short video. I provided a little bit of story behind Hilinski's Hope and, regarding the founders and whatnot. So if you would like more information about Hilinski's Hope, you can always go to hilinskishope.org. There's information about them, programs, news. You can donate, a little bit more about their mission and about the people that, help run that foundation and everything, that organization. So definitely check them out. And just so you know, we do a Cause for Cleats every episode. We're not affiliated with any of these nonprofit organizations or anything. We're just doing this out of the kind of our heart, as well as to keep the human perspective on, athletes today and what what organizations and causes they want to bring to the table. In the end, we're all human, including our professional football players, both for the Miami Dolphins and other teams alike all over the world. So definitely check out that information. Color, how you doing with your coffee? Everything better now?
Almost there, buddy. Need about another 5-10, man. I'll be good. One thing I was gonna say was that's highly supportive of that cause from Hilinski. That's great stuff right there. That's we all know. I mean, I can't say I haven't dealt with things like that myself. And kind of grew up in a time when it really wasn't the forefront of everybody's thoughts and how to deal with it. And, it wasn't always this way, without the stigma of it and whatnot. And so really, if you that inner sadness, it's touched me before and still does. And I battle with it, every day, but just tell somebody, guys, just tell somebody. There ain't nothing wrong with telling somebody.
Yeah, I agree. If you have any concerns, about any of these types of things regarding yourself or someone that you care about, definitely tell somebody. Communication is key to helping those people, And in addition to that, this doesn't just affect people that are student athletes, just so you guys know that. Mental illness can affect anybody. It does not discriminate. It does not have anything against what gender or how old you are or nothing. You know what I mean? It can affect anybody.
And it don't care if people make fun of you or if they don't, So get yourself right. Take care of yourself. Don't let people dissuade you. Tell somebody. Just don't be afraid to tell somebody. If you're sad, you're sad. Everybody gets sad. But, no reason not to have, seek, people to, try to bring you out of that sadness.
Definitely. All right. So make sure you hit like and subscribe. We're going to keep it moving. We're going to get back to sports here. And Color, just join in the conversation whenever you're ready.
Sure thing.
Definitely. All right, so time for some football. So as I mentioned, Stefon Diggs yesterday about missing camp and how they find it concerning. The Coach McDermott said it's very concerning he's not here, at the mandatory minicamp. In addition to that, there was some reporting from some of our resident Bills fans that it may be related to an arrest that happened recently with his brother, who had a some type of altercation or incident. I'm going to say allegedly because I don't know what is true exactly. That in an elevator of some kind, like there was some either robbery allegedly or something that transpired. Well, reports came out that there was concerns between Stefon Diggs and internally with the organization or coaching or something to that effect that got reported by Ian Rappaport. Yesterday, it got reported that the last day of practice has been canceled for the Bills. I'm wondering, did the heat get to them too much? No pun intended. I mean, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, to be 100% honest, I think there's a lot more to the Stefon Diggs story that we haven't seen yet. I honestly think that there are certain issues that I think he has internal with coaching and philosophy and whatnot. Recently had Von Miller reporting. It got reported that he has stated that he sides with Steph, that there would be no Von Miller in Buffalo without Stefon Diggs. So that's kind of big. I want to know really what his concerns are. Is it money? Is it money related, or is it really the on the field football philosophy? Maybe he doesn't have the faith in Josh Allen. Maybe he doesn't like the scheme. Maybe it's regarding his wide receivers coach. I mean, there could be a lot of different
Starting to sound
things.
like Stefon Diggs don't even know what his problem is.
Just a tiny bit, that's something to talk about. But we'll see. As a Miami Dolphin fan, first, I love seeing this kind of stuff happen to other teams, right? But then as an analyst or someone that's trying to be objective to the whole thing, I honestly think he doesn't like the philosophy is what he doesn't agree with. You know what I mean? I honestly think some of the stuff that they did, offensively, he didn't necessarily agree with, or maybe he's more of a diva and he wants the ball more color. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I said yesterday, I'm still standing by this. With the way he's stuck them in that contract, it has to be highly personal. There is something that happened or was said or something that crossed a line personally that he's not going to be able to reconcile.
That's a good point. I mean, this happened right as the offseason kicked off, man. This has been going on for a while. This isn't nothing new. He removed them all from his IG account. You know what I mean? It's like, I think you're right. I think he wants out because it's that personal to him, possibly. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just my opinion in regards to the Stefon Diggs stuff that's been populated recently. Any final thoughts on Stefon Diggs before we move on?
No, sir.
All right. In other news, free agent quarterback Carson Wentz has been spending time in Tampa throwing and studying film with former NFL head coach John Gruden. Wentz wants and intends to play this season and is waiting the right situation. That's kind of interesting, color. There's been, it looks like John Gruden's putting some work in with some talent that's out there, such as Carson Wentz. Is he a name that we should keep an eye out? And the reason I say this is, what if things don't necessarily work out up in New England? Do you think they will bring in a Carson Wentz?
I don't know, man. I really don't.
And you also look at this more recently. It's been, there's been a lot of talk between D-Hop and New England. With O'Brien being there and everything, who was his former head coach, and D-Hop actually, I believe, excelled under his former head coach. Do you think maybe?
Yeah. Also, there's the idea that Belichick is kind of going against his normal trend of disassociating with talk like that and to actually admitting to having entertained it, and the fact that they're highly interested in him.
Yeah, definitely. I honestly think that they'll bring him in. They always tend to try to find a receiver to bring in. I think they could bring him in at the right price. Will he be successful? Doing the fact that, look, I'm going to be frank with you. I have no faith in Mac Jones at all. I think he's a bust. And I just don't, even if you have D-Hop there, I don't think he's going to make the right reads. I can't trust it as a person that, let's say I had interest in that team, of some kind, at any level. Billy Zapp, he ain't bad, but I think he's just a good backup quarterback. I don't necessarily see him as being like the real starter. Could you see them maybe see how things go at first and then go after Wentz? Is that a possibility?
Not for me.
Not for you. Okay. All right. I just, trying to, be objective about it. I thought that might be a place he could go to. There's not a lot of teams that out there that could really pick up Carson Wentz, in my opinion. Unless things really crash really bad in Tampa, he's already there and he has connections with Gruden and stuff. That might be something.
The guy can barely walk, man. It's 2 games in and his ankles are swole again. I mean, I'm not trying to be flippant about it. I just really don't believe in. I mean, if you're bringing in Carson Wentz, you're conceding the season and saying, hey, let's hope we for the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Concrete says no way. I agree. I don't know. I just think that they may, tickle the possibility, like at least think about it. You know what I mean? I think that's something that you could see that a place like that. Where else? Who else needs a quarterback in this league? Tampa. Who's the backup for the Rams?
Just kidding.
Who's the backup for the Rams if Matthew Stafford goes down again?
Gosh, I don't even know at this point because they had Baker, but then that's over with. But
yeah,
who do they have out there?
I don't think they really have anybody.
Mike Glennon, I guess then, huh?
Yeah, I guess Mike Glennon. That's the only other team I could say he's maybe a scheme fit. I don't know. I don't really know where he would end up, but it's just interesting. The fact that he's working with Gruden and whatnot. So we'll see what happens with Carson Wentz, to be honest.
He's going to be playing for that lesser known minor league football team from a town called Wentzville.
Well, that's true. There's also a team about, I want to say, an hour east of Tampa, about northeast, I should say. Orlando Guardians need a quarterback. That was their biggest problem last season. Just saying, with the XFL, So maybe he puts XFL on the map.
The Wentzville Wafflers.
Wentzville Wafflers. Oh man, that's funny. Concrete says our defense would have taken him out. I agree. I do agree with that concept. In fact, I want our defense to be that type of team. I want our defense to be violent and create that pressure and take quarterbacks out. So I definitely agree with that. V21 says he'll take Wentz. I don't know, bro. Is Wentz better than the guys that we have? Is he better than Tua? Is he better than Skyler? Is he better than Mike White? What are your thoughts?
I mean, not really. I guess I'd take him as a guy that you could. Okay, fine, but I don't imagine being very inspired with him under center, given that it's only a matter of time before he can't walk again and can't play. I mean, I just don't believe in his long-term future at all. It seems to be this repeating cycle ever since he went down, finished up in Philly, that You know, he can barely even walk on both ankles.
Interesting. Yeah, that's true.
You know, the Colts brought him in. And, yeah. You think Irsay really thought that was the golden ticket? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
that didn't work out at all.
Yeah, then, you know, where Washington, I guess, it was next, right? It's like, okay.
Yeah, I agree. Ever since
you
that
know?
injury that he took, what was it? His rookie season, he took that injury, or was it his sophomore season?
It was during the Super Bowl run.
Yeah, ever since he took that injury, he was never the same, ever. So that's
And I just hear these constant reports that both his ankles are swelled up all the time, and he can barely walk. You know, and that just seems like a major, a lot of maintenance. And not to say that you couldn't keep the cortisone ready and whatever else, but I mean that just seems like a lot of maintenance.
That's true. That's true. I mean,
I can picture week-to-week reports. Oh, yeah, it's a game-time decision or whatever, you know, and we'd be sick of that. I mean, we would just be sick of that really quick.
that is actually true. I would be very upset with that myself. I don't think Wentz is a fit for us, period. So just my own opinion. I was looking at him at other teams, you know, if they falter. I mean, Kirk Cousins, for example, I believe this is a contract year
he looks
for
like
him.
Prince Harry, dude. Let's get real here, man. You know?
He does. I never thought of that. Oh my god, Color. That's funny.
Oh, bro, they're doppelgangers, man. Really look at them, bro. They're freaking doppelgangers, dude.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. But Kirk Cousins, in other news, Kirk Cousins supposedly he's looking.
Hey, maybe we'll do it. I'm sorry, Ollie. Maybe we'll do a segment where we just flashcard a bunch of images of both of them, and we'll call the segment Prince Harry or Prince Wentz. You know?
Oh man, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, we'll definitely have to look at doing that sometime. That'd be funny. We can actually look for other players
or
too.
We'll leave the names off of it. We'll just call it QB or Prince.
That'd be a good one. Kirk Cousins has been in the news lately also, and actually let me bring that up. Where did I see that? Here, Vikings QB Kirk Cousins is not expecting contract talks with Minnesota until March, when he's scheduled to become a free agent. Do you think that the Vikings are actually in position to re-sign him, or do you think that they'll be in position to move on to a new quarterback via the draft, or bring in their new franchise quarterback? Do you think they're in transition is basically what I'm asking?
No, because as long as he has the desire to win and they win enough games, they won't ever have a draft position low enough to make it matter at quarterback in the draft.
But
unless
do you
you're
think
talking dark horse quarterback that, you know, they develop. But
well, that's a different. Here's a different question then. Is Kirk Cousins have anything more to give that you haven't already seen?
Nope.
I feel he's already.
I do
met
not
his
believe
ceiling.
he does. I think TD's saying applies here. He's good enough to not be good enough. You know.
Yeah, and that's my thing with the Vikings. I think if you're gonna have Justin Jefferson on the team, and you're gonna, you know, right now they're retooling their defense, and if you want to continue to win, I just don't know if Kirk Cousins is the guy anymore, bro. I think his time is
Well,
past.
you tell me, Ali. What else does like if you said, okay, given what you've witnessed in his career over his career, and I don't want to just use the old cliche that he can't win in prime time or can't win the big game. That is really what it boils down to. But what do you add to his game? What do you do for him? What is it that's going to make Kirk Cousins be that guy that gets over the hump that Ryan Tannehill can't? Because I really don't see him as much different in the whole scope of their career and what they can achieve.
And see, that's my point, Color. I really don't know what they could do to make it better. Like, they brought in, you know, a younger receiver in recently in the draft. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. If you guys in the chat want to put it up. And that being said, you know, yeah, that's fresh, you know, fresh legs to throw to and stuff, but I just don't see him really doing anything more to, basically put them over the hump or make that needle even better.
Yeah, I mean, you have one of the top running backs in the league. You have the top wide receiver in the league. By the way, I misspoke yesterday. There was a couple other teams that had 3 wide receivers in the top 42. Okay, and that includes the Bengals and the Vikings. So, what are you doing, Kurt?
Mm-hmm. Here's the other part of it is I don't think, this season he won't have the top running back necessarily unless they re-sign Cook. You know what I mean?
Right. But you get what I'm saying, though. He's had enough, man. And I just don't see what.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I don't see what about his game we could fix that would be like, hey, this is it.
Didn't they bring in a tight end from Detroit? Weren't they the
guys
that traded
a pretty decent top tight end? Yeah.
Yeah, TJ Hawkinson, and it hasn't equated. So if I'm the Vikings, I'm looking at, okay, you're only gonna give us this amount, right? And I just think that if I'm the Vikings and I really want to become a top tier organization and continue to win and put myself in position for playoffs and championships and whatnot.
Yeah, don't make the mistake Miami did because he is going to give you exactly what Tannehill did in the long run.
And that's what my thing is. I think it's time to move on personally.
He just did that earlier than Tannehill did. Like he got to the AFC Championship game. He's been down that road and all that, but I just maybe
2024 is the draft to do it, Color. 2024 is the draft to do it. There's going to be a lot of good quarterbacks that I think have better upside and higher ceilings than some of the quarterbacks in this league today.
Yeah, he likes to somehow seek out the opposing team to throw the ball to, like right at the wrong time, quite a bit. He likes to donate the football or donate the game to the other team.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna switch gears just a bit. You talked about running backs in this league.
Oh yeah, it's starting to flow now, bro. I got the Dunkin' Donuts in me. I got a couple sips in me. It's already hitting the bloodstream. I can feel it.
Definitely. So I'm gonna read this article that I found by ESPN. Stephen Holder put it out yesterday. I want to read about what this person had to say because I want your opinion on this subject. And then after this, we'll go to a commercial break and then we'll continue the show.
Opinions cost money around here.
Yeah, so I want your opinion on this. So, basically, Jonathan Taylor is wary of how NFL values running backs. Jonathan Taylor has assessed the current economic attitudes toward running backs in the NFL, and the All-Pro is beginning to wonder what it all means for him. The Indianapolis Colts star said Wednesday that recent developments with backs such as Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley, and others have given him reasons for pause as he embarks on his own contract negotiations. Taylor, who is entering the final season of his rookie contract, is guardedly optimistic. You definitely have to pay attention, just so you know. Okay, what type of space are you entering into? And you just hope for the track record here that things are being evaluated the right way. Taylor, who rushed for a franchise record of 1,811 yards in 2021, is coming off of a down season in which he battled the nagging ankle injuries that limited him to 11 games. He rushed for 861 yards and 4 touchdowns, but sum of total of Taylor's 3 seasons with the Colts remains highly impressive. Do you think that the era of the running backs is starting to come to a close in the NFL today?
I mean, not really. I mean, again, the game doesn't change. The game is the same. You're going to need running backs forever. You're going to need that position forever. Are they going to change in style and whatever else and body type and whatever else? I don't know.
Yeah. Color, hold it down. Keep talking about your thoughts on this, and I'll be right back, okay?
Right on. As soon as we get this loud, annoying vehicle that doesn't know how to put an exhaust pipe on his car goes by, we can finish talking. See that guy? Yeah, that guy. As you can see, it's a little wet in Palm Beach County this morning. We got a couple storms. There's a storm, looks like cooking down in Broward, Dade area. That's that in the clouds you're seeing right there. Those to my south. Everybody be safe on the road. Keep enough distance. Go the other way that you're going in Miami. And yeah, I mean, the running back, Mark. I mean, now you got Jonathan Taylor opening up about it. A guy that really just got in the league. He's done a lot. He's a great running back, but you know, he plays for a team that really hasn't had any aspirations lately. I mean, for that very reason. I mean, look, they bring a running back in like that these days, just like Giants did with Saquon when they drafted Daniel Jones, and they're saying, hey, let's placate the fans. Let's get a guy the ball that can run a lot. I mean, it really is a situation where it's not that the running back's being phased out or that the era of the running back is over or whatever, anything like that. They're just evolving and changing to be different. And just like a wide receiver room, you don't need just one. You know, it is what it is. You know, you could have two of them on the field at a given time, even three, just no different than you can have three wide receivers on the field at a time. I mean, you're going to have an RB1, RB2, RB3. That's just the way it's going. Until defenses, you know, are built in a way, because this is what happens. You know, you'll have defenses built in a way to stop that style of a high passing attack. You know, spread offense, wide zone, West Coast stuff, you know, and once teams build their defenses to defeat that, it's going to leave those teams vulnerable for things like power running again and whatnot. So, but if the league keeps evolving with the safety stuff and all that, it may not matter. I just don't think that, you know, the running backs are going to have to realize that that's the way it is. Your value is your value. I can't just tell my boss, hey, I think field technicians should make all the money in the company. Well, okay, fine, but that don't mean it matters. You know, another company ain't going to say, oh, yeah, well, you're right, so come play for us. No, they're going to all say the same thing. And it is what it is. It's kind of like the factory job is going away. It's something they have to deal with, you know?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It is something that they're going to have to deal with. The reason I guess I bring this up is because look what's transpired over the past week or so. You have Dalvin Cook being released. Dalvin Cook, initially, we assumed that Dalvin Cook could sign with either us or a team immediately, but it sounds like he's looking for a certain number and that he's willing to kind of wait it out to kind of see what, you know, the market brings. And then you have Saquon Barkley, who was highly against being franchised, wasn't very happy about it, but they've come back to the table now and they're going to at least see what's what. And there's been a rumor, and I've seen this in two different places, and it's just a rumor. I don't know anything specific about it, but there's a rumor that the Raiders could be in for Dalvin Cook. And if that happens, they could, and I don't even know if this is even legal or how they would do it, you could technically rescind the franchise tag on Josh Jacobs, which then I would assume if you do that, that makes him a free agent.
I mean, what's the money like? Is that a sideways move? I mean they're pretty high on Josh Jacobs.
I want to say the franchise tag is a lot higher than what you could get Dalvin Cook up for, though. You know what I mean? I don't know. The reason I kind of like wanted to talk about this is because, in my opinion, as this is a passing league and it continues to grow as a passing league, I think what we consider the traditional running backs are going to start being phased out. Now, unless you're a monster of a man, such as Tennessee's running back, and I don't know why I can't think, Henry. unless you're Derrick Henry, who can run over people and bust out 50 yards at will, no problem, and score touchdowns. I honestly don't see teams investing in running backs like they used to. I think that style of, as a player, and then I guess really what my thoughts on this is that eventually this is going to catch up with college players. College players may want to develop themselves as an athlete, not just as a running back. And you're going to see a lot more hybrid running backs that can play wide receiver, not just a running back. If you know what I mean, Color. You know what I mean? I think you're going to start seeing that more. That gives them an avenue to be able to get, better money, essentially, without having to be, a full-time wide receiver, essentially.
Yeah, and I could see a situation where this dichotomy of draft options as opposed to these secondary leagues that are forming. You may find with the colleges not changing what they're doing anytime soon, you may find a lot more running backs themselves having to go the route of playing there a couple of years and then coming into here so teams can get a real feel of how durable they are, what they can bring to the table, what they can do besides the traditional running back role.
That's true. And I think that's safe to say across the board for all positions when it comes to
because if the colleges simply aren't going to be running those power offenses, then somebody's got to be,
Yeah, I just think that if I'm coming out of high school, you know what I mean, and I really want to be a professional football player, and let's say I was primarily a running back in high school, I may want to go to a school that's going to transition me from a running back to a hybrid receiver running back, have both abilities, you know what I mean? And that's what I mean when it comes to the style of running back. You're not going to see these big, massive bodied, bulldozer power backs anymore. You know what I mean? I think you're going to see a lot more players that are like even the Alvin Kamara type of style. You know what I mean? I
mean, there's still going to be a situational need for that. That's why they're not going to go away forever. But as far as being valued at the high end, like these other elite positions, no.
Carroll City 305 says the Pittsburgh Steelers is a run-first organization. Jonathan Taylor would be licking his chops. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're seeing more and more teams that just don't necessarily, invest money in it anymore, bro. I mean, if I'm a professional athlete and I'm worried about money, my opinion is that I'm going to transition myself as a player, more on the receiving end. So maybe can help me boost some of my stock or my profits up in a sense, as a business standpoint. And it makes sense with what you see in today's, NFL. I mean, even look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs had Pachenko, who I want to say was a 7th round pick. Color, is that right? It was a 7th round running back that they took.
Yeah, pretty late.
Yeah, and he's, not the big man, bodied man. He's, small. He's fast. He can play receiver. There's a lot of things that he can do. He's like that person that's like can play every offensive weapon type of position.
I was just putting on Kahari's comment because it also adds something to the idea that but parents are going to start they influence and dictate direction too with what they groom their kids to play.
That's absolutely correct. This is a good point. Thank you, Kahari. That's kind of like where I'm thinking. Like, I think that I, in my opinion, I think that when you see leagues change in a sense of what is being valued and where the money is, I think now that players are in college are getting paid in what future players, what their hopes and dreams are. I think that you may see a shift in the positions that they want to excel at to make sure it aligns with what is profitable.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why, isn't that why they groom to be athletes in the first place? Like parents, I mean, with again, it goes back to what I said about the factory job. If firemen were being put on playing cards and being mobbed for their autographs, parents would be grooming their kids to be firemen.
This is true. Definitely, color. So that's my thought on the running back situation that's going on today. You know, and people have asked me, do you think Dalvin Cook is still an option? Until he signs somewhere, he's definitely an option. Will we want to put that, you know, throw up the money for him? That's really the question. What number is it that Miami has that they're willing to give? That's basically comes down to it. I just don't think it's a big money contract like what I think it's literally $6 million or less. That's basically what I think the Miami Dolphins are probably offering. Shake Money's in the house. Shout out to Shake Money. I hate the new host around here. What? I missed something.
Shake wake up on the wrong side of the bed?
Maybe that's really not Shake Money.
Well, our Shake Money has a green, is green.
Yeah, this one's green. I don't know. He said something about the host. I wonder if he's talking about me or you, Color. I don't know. Huh. Anyway.
I don't know. It must be you because I'm the co-host.
All right, Shake. You know the link. Come on up and tell us why. Anyway. So let's keep it moving. And I think I saw Lewis in the chat too. Shout out to Lewis. Not you guys. I'm talking about the two guys from yesterday. LOL. Ha ha. We hate you too. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Shake Money is being funny.
Oh yeah, we had to totally fire them guys. We're like,
yeah, that was yesterday's news, man. I live into the now, not yesterday. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, let's keep it moving, Color. So actually, it's past 7 o'clock. So let's do the 7 o'clock update. Currently, it's 7:04 a.m. It is currently in Miami, Florida, 82 degrees. Today's high is 88 now. Low is 80. And it currently feels like 90 degrees. I swear to God, yesterday, it was, I want to say, going on like 8 p.m. Actually, it was past 8 p.m. And it was like still like 90 degrees outside here in Port St. Lucie. It was ridiculous. But yeah, that's your current weather report. It's about 15% chance of rain this afternoon. Then after that, it's just like slight chance. It kind of dips down a bit. Let's see, any new.
And of course, up here in the 561, you could expect a high of 94 degrees. Currently 78 degrees and partly cloudy. And the wind is out of the south to southwest at 5 miles an hour with 96% humidity. And yeah, the traffic helicopter just landed in the middle of Forest Hill and Jog, so stay away from that area. And go ahead, Ollie.
Yeah, and also in the Miami area, there's been several accidents reported even in the past hour. So please be careful driving. You have looks like there's an accident at 216th Street and Frontage Road. There's also another one on let's see, the 1400 block southwest and South Dixie Highway at the LA Fitness parking lot. So just be careful. It's already it's 7:04. So when we started the show, there was about 3 accidents reported, and now since then there's even more. About 4 more accidents in the last hour. So please be careful. Make sure you're not texting and driving. Make sure you keep your eyes on the road. You know, safety first. But ultimately, we hope you just enjoy listening to the show. No needs to be looking at your phone. So definitely, please be careful on the road. All right, let's do the rundown real quick, and then we'll continue here. Color, we'll keep it moving. While you're hanging out with us, make sure you check out some of our other content. We got El Capitan doing shows every other day of the week, doing interviews. We got a lot more stuff planned out with pre-records and recorded information. Then we got Color and myself doing the morning show Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. And you can also check out some of his other stuff that he does with Coffee and a Cup of Color. He's got this whole show planned out for the QBs. Is that the next one? QBs, right?
Yes, I am currently working on it, and I'm about 3/4 of the way through compiling all of my numbers. And I'm finding it just as well as same with the wide receivers. I am finding some interesting stuff along the way.
So definitely check out Color's content. He has a lot of past shows that are pretty dope as well. You can also find myself with, the morning show as well as Broken Takes. I also have a slew of late night exhale shows that we did, which will start back up once preseason starts. That's more of a during the season type show on Saturday nights. So check that out. And then you can also check out Lewis and Shake Money. Shake Money going every other day of the week here. And then the other days he's hanging out over on Larry K's channel with the blender. I believe today he has Big Nick on there. Is that right, Color? I think it's Big
yes,
Nick
I believe that is tonight.
Yeah, so definitely check out Big Nick on Shake Money Show and the blender on Larry K's channel. That's going to be a good one. I'm going to tune into that. You got Lewis doing spaces, co-hosting with Shake Money. Shout out to Lewis. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Donate to the channel if you'd like. We really appreciate it. While you're also hanging out, check out some of our links below with our affiliate.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
That's right, Fanatics. Fanatics officially licensed everything. You want to know where I got my draft hat, my custom jerseys, or any of my jerseys, you can get signed memorabilia there. They sell the helmets, the full-size helmets and everything. Not just NFL. They have pretty much every sport out there. They have pretty much every team. Any of the tailgating flair stuff that you like to show off or whatever. Hats, jerseys, jackets, t-shirts, you name it, they got it. They always got deals going on. They have split payment options. They got a lot of stuff. Check out Fanatics. Make sure you use the link below. It definitely helps out the channel. We really appreciate it if you would do that. So thank you so much for that. And while you're also hanging out, you can also go to TFTGnetwork.com, our new website. Check out all the awesome content. It has, basically an instant access to go to all of our different playlists of all of our content and shows. You can get our Twitter feeds there. There's going to be articles that me and Color and company are going to start putting out a lot more of there. And you can also check out our new merch store while you're at.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor. We're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process makes shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Yeah, so definitely check out our website and our merch store. The merch store has a lot of new stuff, Color. I mean, it's not just
it's really
hats
awesome.
and t-shirts. There's stuff like mugs, different cups, and all that kind of stuff. Mouse pads. They got stickers. There's like tons and tons of different stuff that's on there. So definitely check it out. They got blankets and all,
they got plenty of different styles of mugs to have your cup of color in along with your coffee.
There's coasters and
Yep. And I just wanted to say a little update. I have received full authorization and license now to get working on the voiceover for our promo that we just watched. You know, our fine editor and producer in the back, HB, had put that together, and him and El Capitan have now authorized me to converge on the situation. And as such, hey, I would invite anybody that is a writer to help write a nice little script for the tailgate on that. Hey, you know, in the team, out the team, we can get it done. But let's make it however we all want it. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Color, take over for the rundown. Go over Backroom Collection and Dovey energy drink. I'll put this up.
Dovey, of course. You know, Dovey. DUBBY. Get the dub with Dovey, because when you drink Dovey, you get the energy to get the dub. And as Shake Money can attest, they taste great, and they don't give you that sugar crash and that caffeine crash. Shake has tried the orange creamsicle flavored, and you can check out his review on the Fins Tailgate. It is uploaded. It is fun to watch. Shake does a great job, and you know, he just gives you an honest take of what he thinks about the drink. Also, Backroom Collections, where you can get great, fine artwork, custom memorabilia, all kinds of great stuff at Backroom Collections. Hashtag TFTG at checkout for 10% off. And let's see, let me get my brand controls so I can do this proper, because I'm on my phone. We'll get rid of that one there. And we'll say hi to Miramar up in Marineland in St. Augustine. How you doing? Good morning, Miramar. And let's see, I think that might cover the rundown. You're checking out all the great stuff. I think Ali already told you about all of us, right? You can also support the channel by using Cash App, $, the Fins Tailgate, or Venmo, the Fins Tailgate. And of course, super chats, super stickers, YouTube memberships. Hit the join button down below the video is the way that you can become a member. We have 3 different membership levels, and great many more perks coming on the way for those members, besides the awesome emojis we got you to use in chat right now. So that being said, have I covered everything, Ali?
Yes, definitely. So thank you so much. I appreciate that, Color. Shout out to everybody that if you're just joining the channel, make sure you hit like and subscribe. We appreciate you. I see Kahari P in here. Colin is in here. What's up, Colin?
One other thing. Hitting that like button. You may not think it's as important, because everybody thinks dollars are the most important. And they are, let's be honest. But hitting that like button and sharing it might make the video, might make our show and our network come across the eyes of somebody who does like to slosh their money around a little bit. So by you putting it in front of their eyes, by proxy have supported the channel that way. So it is just as important and just as appreciated if you just simply hit the like button and share us out.
Yeah, definitely would appreciate that. Definitely. I see Mr. Pauks up in here. Who else do we have in here that I didn't? Let's see. Michael K, Shake Money, Lewis. NFL is lit. How's it going? Delusional Patriots fan is up in here. Appreciate everybody that's watching the show. Like I said, make sure that you hit like and subscribe. If I didn't call you out, I apologize.
Ali, I'm just letting you know I'm walking out I'm taking the old the youngest Dolphin fan in the Color household. I'm taking him out for a little wee. So if I lose you and have to come back in, just letting you know.
Okay. All right, no worries. So Color is taking his purse dog out for a walk. No, I'm just kidding. Just messing around. But yeah, so definitely we appreciate all of you. So thank you so much. Let's keep it moving. There wasn't very much news in the Dolphins today. However, there's been some talk that we might finally get that Christian Wilkins deal done, Color. Supposedly, from what I've seen, that it looks like that might be why we haven't really done anything with the money that we opened up yet. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, if you're able to talk about it currently.
I'm confused about that whole situation. I mean, if it just may be him wanting all that money and us not wanting to do anything about it. I mean,
yeah, I understand. I mean, more recently, more defensive tackles are getting signed extensions. I believe it was someone with the Houston Texans just recently re-signed a 2-year deal, $23 million extension. So that's another defensive tackle that's signing, and it's basically increasing his market more.
and the more that Dalvin comes out and effectively prices us out of the market, it seems like we would probably start to think about doing that deal pretty soon.
That is true.
Like what's holding us up now?
Yeah, I mean, I want to know. I'm hoping that maybe we get this done, by the beginning or sometime next week. I don't know what has taken so long until now. Like, I understand you had some of the big names that had to sign, like the guy from the Giants, Lawrence, for example, and other names that are out there. But still, it's like, I don't know. It's almost like we're dragging our feet, and because we're dragging our feet, it's costing us more and more. But in the retrospective, it does look like Miami wants to continue with Christian Wilkins. It does look like Miami wants to make sure that they're doing right by him. I mean, if you've noticed, Miami's social media and other posts that they've put on Twitter and whatnot, they're still, really into Christian Wilkins. He's still a big part of Miami's Dolphins community and everything. It doesn't look like they're turning a corner or anything color, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? It's
right. That's what I'm saying. There's like no movement on it, which makes you think we're waiting for something maybe that would be affected by his money. But what would that be? Unless we're really going to entertain giving Dalvin Cook $10 million.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they have a deal in place, and the only reason we're waiting is because there's other positions that we need to address that, maybe they're stuck on trying to figure out what to do with first. I mean, maybe they're not in any rush because it may not change what they do up until camp starts. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a lot of different ways to look at this, and we're just speculating. We have no idea, but
yep. And there's a certain amount of it's probably nothing, and their timeline is just different than what we as fans expect.
Yeah, this is true. And the other part of it is like, let's say Christian Wilkins is part of the plan, but they still want to reform or retransform what they do with that defensive line, right? Maybe Zach Seiler is the one that's looking out and everything. And if that's the case, then I can see why they're not necessarily in a rush to re-sign him necessarily until they have their plan all in place. You know what I mean? Or maybe they're trying to sign both at the same time and just trying to figure out the money. You know what I mean? There could be so many different ways to look at this. And I just, I'm just kind of like,
I mean, it's not as if we're waiting for the shoe to drop on another tackle,
Yeah, this is true. I'm just kind of curious I'm hopeful we find out what really has caused this delay in a sense down the road. You know what I mean? I want to see what happens there. What else do we have? I'm trying to see if there was any other news. I don't know. Did you have any other Dolphins news? I mean, we talked about Robbie Chosen poised for a noteworthy role with Miami. I honestly think he's starting to solidify himself as the number 3 wide receiver on this team. We talked about that yesterday.
Man, I don't know about that, bro.
You don't
Like,
know
I
about
think there's
that?
a lot of guys that have already proven enough for us that I think Robbie still has to get out on the field and show it before we say all that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I don't know. Last year, well, who was our number 3 wide receiver? It was Sherfield, right?
Well, that's who ended up being used like that. I don't know if that was our
Okay.
intended number 3, but
Do you think River Craycraft is going to come in and take that spot? I know you would love it, but I mean, do you think he's going to though?
Okay, so we got Tyreek, we got Waddle, we got Berrios, we got Craycraft, we got, I mean, I think there's other options. I mean, we don't know how things are going to shake out in camp with Izukanma and let's say
the biggest question mark that's going to define, if this person leaves, I could definitely say that, in my opinion, that Chosen Anderson is going to be, Robbie Chosen is going to have a significant role, and that's Cedric Wilson. He's the biggest question mark.
Yeah.
If we keep him, then I don't really know who's going to be the number 3.
Well, the money bags would be number 3 in that case.
But he wasn't the number 3, and he had the money bags last season.
True.
So, because Sherfield was...
Yeah, and look what we got for it. A drop football in the end zone.
This is true. And for the money bags, basically, we got a drop in the end zone, and we got a 30-yard punt return that was pretty impressive. Actually, it was probably more than 30
I'm
yards,
talking about the drop football by Sherfield. In other words, our choice of Sherfield over Cedric in playing cost us. I mean, we got that difference in money's worth.
Yeah, but was that all? I mean, one part of it is, if you remember,
Cedric makes that catch. I'm saying that Cedric would be held more responsible for not making that catch if he's making more money.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. I get.
In other words, if we paid him more money, the thought was that he was a better wide receiver, I'd imagine, right? So
this is true. I had more high hopes for Cedric Wilson because I felt with his speed and athleticism, he would kind of solidify himself as the number 3, and it never happened, bro. First of all,
I never really saw an issue with his hands per se. So
he got injured quick. And remember, he had that breathing problem because he had the rib injury or something like that, and he couldn't see the field. Finally, when he gets on the field, he was almost like nowhere to be found except for punt returns, and even then, it didn't look pretty. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I just don't think with the fact that they have Eazy-E here and they never used them, they got Braylon Sanders here, they have Tyreek Hill, they have Jalen Waddle, we re-signed River Craycraft, and you got Robbie Chosen here. I just don't see how Cedric Wilson survives on this team. I honestly think we trade him. Otherwise, he's a big waste of money. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that. But I mean, I still, again, I mean, if you're talking about a certain body type, then nobody can beat out Robbie for number 3. But if you're talking about just, hey, who's the best? I mean, I could see a guy like Braylon Sanders or Izukama outperforming Robbie in camp.
Yeah, that's the hope. That's what I want to see, definitely.
A lot of it has to do with work ethic, too. I mean, what's his work ethic going to be like compared to those other guys? Things like that. I mean, fundamentals. I mean, Mike McDaniel is on record this offseason specifying that our running backs need to be able to catch the ball. I'm pretty sure he feels that way about our receivers, too.
This is true. This is definitely true. Something to think about.
And I don't know if Robbie Anderson has ever had any problems catching it. I just, he's never played at that high level that people expected out of him. So we just don't know.
Yeah, I think he's definitely a wide receiver 3, especially on this team. I don't expect him to carry teams over on his back or anything, but I think he's consistent enough to be a formidable number 3 for sure on this team. And his agent has come out and said, that they expect him to have, a bigger role this year. And I don't know what that necessarily means or equates to, but it sounds like he's on this team, more than just through training camp. You know what I mean? When you signed him, did you really think he was going to make this team initially? But with comments like that, I kind of think that they're looking to keep him on this roster. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Another guy to look at.
All right, we're gonna leave it up. We're gonna leave it up to the audience, Chewy. Should I give him his breakfast biscuit? Huh? Should I give it to him? Should I give it to him? Oh, you're not even gonna make him ask for it?
Beg, Chewy, beg.
You want this biscuit right here? Is this what you want right here? Is that the stuff? Huh? Yeah, give it to me. Yeah, no. Be nice. All right. He usually fumbles it, but
that's cute. NFL is saying the number 3 for y'all is only like 3 targets a game, though. Okay, let me switch gears up a little bit. Let's talk about the wide receiver position, right? So you have Tyreek Hill and you have Jalen Waddle, and both of them ran similar routes from opposite sides of the field as each other, and they were primarily always in the intermediate areas as being a threat. Do you think, and I'll let the audience answer as well as I want colors comments, do you think we had a true possession style receiver? And when I say possession style, I'm talking about that 0 to 10 yard receiver. Did we have that on our team last season? Color.
Obviously, yeah, I think we did in Craycraft.
Okay, all right. So you thought we had it with Craycraft, but did they use him as such?
No. A couple times. I mean, we got a touchdown out of it, I think, in the Ravens game, right?
Yeah, he got like 2 touchdowns, in that sense.
But if you include consistently and with almost without fail catching the football as included in possession receiver, then yeah, I'd have to say Craycraft was Craycraft is the only one on our team, to be honest with you, and this includes Tyreek. He is the only one on our team that if I had to risk my life on throwing a football to somebody and then catching it, I would throw it to River Craycraft.
This is true. I understand what you mean by that. You've predicated your game in high school when you played on, catching the ball, and you like his style.
Well, I mean, if we're talking possession receiver, that's almost the biggest part of it.
Definitely, I understand.
Run 1 yard past the sticks and catch it because you're going to get the first down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely understand. And see, for me, I think they tried to do it with Gesicki. If you noticed, a lot of the throws that they were making to him earlier on were these like 10 yard, 10 yards up and out to the sideline type of throws.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he was fumbling it. Either he missed the read or he didn't make the catch properly. It just wasn't working.
Right. I'm sorry, Ollie. One other thing I wanted to add about possession, the other percentage of it as far as possession is keeping possession of the football, keeping the drive going. So a possession receiver is one that understands that if it's 3rd and 7, and my particular route on this play calls for a 5 yard and out move or a 5 yard and a slant, I'm running 7 yards and out, 7 yards and slant. Without the quarterback or the coach or anybody having to say anything to each other, we know that's what we're doing. That's part of being a possession receiver as well, keeping possession of the football. Hey, if your route only calls for 5 yards, but the sticks are 7 yards away, you adjust that. And everybody knows telepathically you adjust that to 7 yards because you get to the sticks. You know what I mean? And of course, completing the catch is the biggest part of it. Possession.
Yeah, this is true. I guess basically we have to think about what is a possession receiver. It's one who makes tough catches, usually in the middle of the field, They aren't burners, not the guys who will outrun the defense and make long plays. They are the tough guys who get the first down and can expect to be hit as soon as they catch the ball. Sherfield did that for us quite a few times last season.
Except when it mattered, bro.
We can argue that back and forth. I get it. But
you see what I'm saying? Not the most perfect pass in the world, but likely a place that pass had to be thrown, to be fair to Tua. And again, a possession receiver makes that catch all day long.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I think we're missing. Now, if we can turn Robbie Chosen into something like that, or River Craycraft, or if he's still on the team, Cedric Wilson, if he ends up developing into that, I think that could unlock this offense even to a different level. Because now, when you have that style of receiver that you can put into the mix, that opens up Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, because it makes defenses having to adjust their coverage for it. You know what I mean? That's why I think it's important that we get on the right foot when it comes to our running game, because the possession receiver and the running game, both hand in hand, I think is what is going to unlock this offense.
Right.
I think both are needed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And route running hard, like Kahari's saying, you got, route running is a skill in and of itself. It allows a player to get more separation. So really, yeah, just about every attribute except for speed, could apply to a possession receiver.
So Kahari's been talking about a guy named Daywood. Does he play receiver? Is that one of the undrafted guys that we got? I'm actually going to look that up real quick.
Daywood Davis. I don't know. Maybe he saw a report. Maybe we brought a guy in to try out, walk on or something.
He's an undrafted free agent. I'm actually bringing up to see what I can find out about him. He went to Western Kentucky, it looks like. He is a wide. Yeah, he's from Fort Lauderdale. He's 24 years old. He's 6'1", 196 pounds. Yeah. So that'll be very interesting to see what what he can bring. So
yep. And V21 says Cedric was a 3rd and 4th down monster for Dallas. He could do that. I thought that's what I thought too, V2. I thought that's what we had admired about him, picking him up from Dallas. I don't recall seeing him drop too many. Of course, nobody has 100% completion percentage, but it's a matter of, was I in the bathroom when it happened? You know what I mean? Because I don't ever see the guy drop him.
This is true. Do you think? Let's talk about this. So, to give you an example, wide receiver for Tom Brady when he was with the Patriots, right? What's his name? Edelman for the Patriots. Was he a possession receiver?
Yeah, you could call him that, especially the way they utilized him.
Yeah, so that's basically what I think is the issue here. We don't have that 0 to 10, gonna catch the first down, tough catch kind of guy that can be consistent around here. And I want Cedric Wilson to be that guy because we paid the money. Let's make him that guy. But can he be? That's really the question. Is he tough enough? I mean, we saw the injury that he took, earlier on in the season, last season. He had problems breathing, from what I understood, and he really wasn't the same ever since after that. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Is he tough enough? That's really the question at this point. So
we know Berrios has the noggin for it. So
that's true. That's true. That'll be interesting to see what they do with him as well. There's a lot of question marks in this receiver room. Will it look the same by the end of the training camp? That's another question. Do you think all these guys will be here, or do you think there's people on the chopping block outside of unrestricted free agents? For example, does Berrios make this team? Does Eazy-E make this team? We never used Eazy-E.
It's not even out of the realm. It's not even out of the realm of possibility that we still do a deal with Dallas like they suggest with Mostert for other reasons.
Yeah. That is something.
It doesn't necessarily have to be to bring Dalvin Cook in.
That is true. It doesn't have to be for Dalvin Cook. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. But let's switch gears a little bit. I'm going to go off on the other side of the ball, defense. This was put through on Dolphins Wire. And Sam Madison says Dolphins rookie cornerback Cam Smith is doing very well in camp. He mentioned that the Miami Dolphins entered the 2023 draft without a first-round pick, despite having 2 at one point. They had 1 pick stripped due to tampering violations, which we all know about, and they traded the other to the 2022 trade deadline for linebacker Bradley Chubb before giving him an extension. So Miami's first selection came in the 2nd round when they drafted South Carolina cornerback Cam Smith. Smith joined a deep cornerback room that also features Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard, Nick Needham, Kader Kahu. That's great news for the rookie as he can learn from some of the best in the game. Not only that, but he will also have to earn opportunities, and he'll be practicing against some of NFL's top receivers in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. All that means Smith will be tested early and often in camp. So on Thursday, and this was reported, I want to say around June 10th. So it was last week. I unfortunately wasn't here, so that's why I'm reporting about it now. But it was just some interesting notes from Sam Madison. Dolphins cornerback coach, pass game specialist Sam Madison spoke with the media and answered questions about Smith's performance in rookie minicamp, OTAs, and mandatory minicamp. He's doing very well, Madison said. But guess what? He's a rookie, right? We can look around the league since football has been in inception, and there's been, and they're going to have their ups and downs, but he's a fast learner. He still has a long way to go, but he's getting better at each and every last one of those things that we're throwing at him. We're going to keep challenging him. We're going to keep putting him in positions and see what we can get out of him. Smith, like all rookies, has adjusting to do before he takes the field in September against some of the toughest coverage assignments in the league. His biggest issue during his collegiate career was penalties, and that's something that can't happen in the NFL. A cornerback won't see the field if there are always flags being tossed on the field because there was too much contact. If Smith can clean that up, he has the athleticism to be an impact player in Vic Fangio's defense. So they're saying if he can clean up his penalties that he gave away last season, which was a knock on him during the draft, he could be an impact player. Do you think, as a number 3 corner, and they're saying, and just to give you the full thing, it says he can be an impact player in Vic Fangio's defense, and having that type of talent as a 3rd or 4th corner is a luxury. Yes, that's a luxury. But do you think that at some point you can't just keep that 3rd or 4th quarterback, on the bench at times? Do you think there's going to be times where we see both Ramsey, Xavier Howard, and Cam Smith on the field starting, let's say right off the get-go? Do you think that could happen, Colin?
Yeah, absolutely. Although I don't know, we're pretty dang stacked, man. I think that it's a kind of a luxury. If he's a great player, like it turns out to be, it's going to make him even that much better that we don't have to rush him right out to the field. But if he's standing out that much in camp, then by all means, rush him out to the field. You know what I mean? And I don't see any reason any player couldn't shine like that. Mm-hmm. We're obviously pretty high on him, given who we could have drafted in his place. Yeah. At that position. I mean, so let's see. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility he couldn't earn himself a starting role in some capacity. Yeah. Again, we don't really know how Fangio plans to roll out our secondary. So he may find a home. On the starting roster.
Delusional Patriots fan actually put out a good point. He could see that Ramsey slides to safety if Cam is good, number 2 corner, and Howard on the number 1. That I could see definitely happening. I think that as we get to our second draft with Vic Fangio and we move forward, I think you're going to see a lot more versatile players that we start to bring in or draft going forward on the defense. I think Vic Fangio likes the type of players that, you know, he could mold into, that could play different positions and mold to his style, you know, being that hybrid corner safety type players. I've been told Cam Smith can play multiple different positions in the secondary. So that's definitely a plus on why we brought him in. But yeah, I agree. If he cleans up those penalties, Color, I honestly think he could definitely be one, you know, a leading talent when it comes to young corners in this league. You know, right off the get-go. You know what I mean? They say calling him an impact player. I definitely could see that at times. So, especially in a passing league, I think it's time that we need to start, you know, looking to bring that those types of players onto the fold. You know, we got to start targeting those type of players, specifically when you have Aaron Rodgers and, you know, more receivers that are coming in, you know, over to the AFC East, the AFC in general. You know what I mean? Don't be surprised if things blow up in Minnesota and Justin Jefferson ends up on an AFC team. It could definitely happen at some point.
So, yep, absolutely. So, Ali, I don't mean to reverse course at all, but
no problem. Go for it.
Chat seems to be talking about it. Capitan brought it up, and I have posted the article on Sports Illustrated Dolphins Fan Nation in the private chat for you to have a look at. I have not read the article. I don't really know the full nature of what everybody's talking about per se, or how realistic it is, or what they say about it. But if you want to bring up the article and go through it, you know,
yeah, we could definitely.
Looks like we got about 15 minutes left before you got a jet.
Yeah,
if your schedule is, you know, normal schedule today, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's my normal life to clock out at 8. Sorry about that. But let's actually go over this article. I actually did read this. I didn't fully get into it too much because it was kind of a rush when I saw it, but let's actually go through it now. So
yeah, I figure we could go through it together.
Definitely.
That way you can get fresh opinion on a speculative article from Ali and Color right as we're reading it with you.
So shout out to Alan Poupar. This is Fans Nation. Alan Poupar posted this about 17 hours ago. Fournette high on Dolphins, Baker's message. There's a lot of attention these days being paid to running back Dalvin Cook, now a free agent after being released by the Minnesota Vikings. Another veteran running back looking for a new team is former Jacksonville Jaguars first-round pick Leonard Fournette, and he was a guest on Good Morning Football on Wednesday, and it may be not that much of a stretch to suggest he wouldn't mind joining the Miami Dolphins if it turned out there was mutual interest. There are dots to connect here, starting with the fact that Fournette's 2 NFL teams have been the other 2 in Florida, the Jaguars and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then there's his relationship with cornerback Jalen Ramsey from their time together in Jacksonville. And then there's the fact that he's obviously impressed by the talent that Miami has assembled, which came out when he was asked which team around the NFL had the best roster. So I'll be rolling with the Miami Dolphins, Fournette said. For me, bringing in a guy like Jalen over there, his attitude, I played with him in Jacksonville, played against him when he played with the Rams. I know what he brings to the table. And with Tyreek Hill, Jalen, the young guys they're going to do a tremendous job. And the defense is not bad. And I can't wait to see what Jalen brings. And I'm excited for him. A new home, a new place for him. It's going to be very exciting for him. If Tua stays healthy, they can make a good run. Ramsey and Fournette played together with Jacksonville in 2017 and 18, and at the start of 2019 before Ramsey was traded to the Rams, and they helped the Jaguars reach the AFC Championship in 2017, losing against the New England Patriots, a team that included Good Morning Football co-host and former Dolphins defensive back Jason McCourtney. When I got drafted, he DM'd me. He said, "Man, listen, I know you're on the same mission." Fournette said, "I'm trying to win championship. I want to go to the Super Bowl. We fell short to the wonderful Patriots, but overall, just playing with him, his children are like my kids, man. He's been my brother since I first entered the league, and he's a wonderful guy. I'm happy to see how he's flourishing right now. He's a man of God. I love that about him, and it's my guy." Why Fournette be a fit for the Dolphins? This is interesting. While Cook clearly is better, more well-rounded running back than Fournette, one could say...
Pause, Ali, sidebar. I think Poupart's about to basically articulate Kahari's point before I bring up Kahari's comments, so we actually cover two birds with one stone, because I think Kahari was making the same point in chat. Go ahead.
And just to comment on the first part, I do see where there's a big connection. I definitely agree. You could argue that there's connection between Ramsey and Dalvin Cook as well. So that there it goes both ways.
And before we end this segment, I'm going to give you the broken takes version connection too. So go ahead.
All right, so let's keep going. So one could make the argument adding Fournette would make more sense. The reason is that the Dolphins don't have a big back in the roster, and a 6 foot, 228-pound Fournette would fill that void. Fournette has been without a team since the Buccaneers released him in March 15th. 1 year after they re-signed him to a 3-year, $21 million extension. I'm getting calls, but right now I feel like that the market for running backs is not where it should be. Again, we had that conversation about the era of the running backs, and is the market really there?
Oh, never mind. I'm just kidding.
And we're going to go about it since Saquon Barkley made it a topic and how he feels about it. But I have been getting calls, but just the money has to be right now. Right now. I'm not asking for a whole bunch of money, but it has to be fair for a running back because we take a lot of pounding. Okay, I understand where he's coming from with this color. I do agree. They do need a fair value.
Coming from a guy that actually does take a pounding because he puts effort into every play. You know what I mean? So there you go.
This is true, especially the style of running back he is. He's going to take a pounding. So I get it from his point. We got to block, catch, and run the ball. We got to be smart. I played with a 6-time, 7-time champion, Tom Brady, and
damn, he stole my take, man.
And if you're not able to protect him, you shouldn't be on the field. Co-host Kyle Brandt closed the discussion with a simple statement: Miami, come on now. Never mind, Dalvin, Lenny.
Well, since he already stole my take and busted it wide open, there's that connection too. There are still some in our fan base that are holding out, thinking that Mr. Brady might still be hanging by the red phone. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, there would already be one of his guys he's worked with well and had success with catching his balls out of the flat, already on our team. You see what I'm saying? Like, kind of like, why did we have Will Fuller and all that nonsense? You know what I mean? Maybe you do want to go ahead and get Fournette over in here. But to Kahari's point and what Alan said about Cook being better, sure, Cook, like Kahari, I think said, he remakes your running back room where Fournette will enhance it. And I think that, especially with what the last contract he had at $7 million per year, it's seeming like we're at the department store right now looking at TVs and going, look, this model is really price-wise and what it's capable of and what we need it for. This is probably the more sensible best bet here. Don't go with that freaking one over there just because of this and that and the other, and it's better. You know what I mean? So we may be looking at that situation where the amount of money we're looking to spend in relation to what type of running back and what we're trying to get out of him might land a little more in the stars with a guy like Fournette. I know he's getting dated. I know he's, people would have concerns about, oh, he's already, won a championship. What kind of will does he have to put in the effort, all that kind of stuff. But let's say all that's there. The guy is deadly catching the ball out of the backfield.
This is true. These are true.
Brady relied. If you go back and look at that Super Bowl run, you would realize how much Brady relied on Leonard Fournette out of the backfield.
These are true facts that he is very formidable in the passing game. But I'm going to bring just some concerns. Not saying that he's an absolute no for me. I'm open to the idea of bringing Leonard Fournette at the right price, right? Let's not forget that last season, some of the biggest knocks on him was the fact that he came into camp and played overweight. He's packing some of those, after winning a Super Bowl.
I've already got the answer, Ali. You're talking Super Bowl hangover, bro.
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, he packed a couple, double cheeseburgers and Big Macs, under his armpits and everything.
All that Disney World greasy food, bro.
Yeah, these are concerns for me. So if you want to be paid fairly, I gotta rely on you to come in the good shape, making sure you keep your body right, so you can be formidable on the field. You know what I mean? The knock was last season that he was playing overweight and it slowed him down. This team.
Well, of course, because if you can't physically do what we what we need you to do, then you're worthless.
And that's my thing. Is it seems like this team is being built off of speed. You look at everybody that's on this team offensively. It's speed. Mostert, 23 miles an hour. A-Chain, 23 miles an hour. Tyreek Hill, probably 23 miles per hour or more. Jalen Waddle, the same.
Ideally, yes. But remember, I'll harken back to what McDaniel said about how important he sees running backs' ability to catch the football, bro. I mean, is that going to outweigh the need for speed,
This is correct. I do agree with you, but here's where I'm going with this. I could see them only using Fournette in two different situations based on his mold and the style of running back that he is. Only two. 4th down and 1, maybe 4th and 2, or 3rd and 1. That type of situation, or goal line as your goal line running back. That's how I see it happening, and it's based on what the style of offense we have and the style of players that we have. He's not the burner that you have. But he is definitely going to be the fix when it comes to those 4th and 1s that we couldn't get done, or 3rd and 1s that we couldn't get done with the running game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you, but I do disagree on putting limitations on what he can do for us. And I'll say
and do understand, this is all my opinion. I'm not saying.
Oh, I know. I got you totally, and that's why I'm saying I don't disagree with what you're saying, because what you're saying is a valid opinion. Like what he actually, like his, what we could expect his default skill set to be. But I wanted to expand on it basically, and that's where I'm in disagreement. Is that I don't think he's necessarily has to be limited to those roles. In other words, you can have him on given plays, where he has the ability to act as a blocker. The play starts off as a block. All of our speed causes the line and backers and all them to flood out to the secondary. Next thing you know, you got Fournette leaking out, you know what I mean? And it's only 3rd and 5. And yeah, he doesn't have the speed, but if he's leaking out like that quite consistently on those types of plays, boom, that's a 5-yard completion and a 1st down, which we know, he has the ability to consistently do, or to find himself in that position.
Kari P makes a good point. Don't underestimate Fournette's speed. You are right. I definitely agree in that sense. But last season, and I'm just comparing this to last season, I hear you, but just hear me out. In my opinion, based on what I saw, I felt he looked slower than he ever has in the previous seasons he's played, not just for Tampa, but in his career. So that's why I'm concerned.
Yeah, and you're right to have that concern, and you're right to see what you're like. You're not wrong. You definitely saw what you saw.
Yeah,
It's just a matter of, again, like I was saying earlier, is the will to win again there? Is the will to put that effort in the gym there to get lean again? You know what I mean? Is that will there?
Yeah, like did he? That's my question. Like, okay, has he gone in the gym and shedded off the Whopper and the Super Bowl hangover? Is it off?
The
is
Disney
it over
World
now?
food.
The Disney World food. Did he shave it off? And is he coming in good shape? Then I could let's see. I could see how this would work. I definitely agree. I think either option is good. I think they're just good for different options.
Well, that's the thing, Ali. Every
person
has to decide for themselves. First of all, do you believe he will put the effort in to get himself right, to get himself lean? You know, the will to win, all that. Once you decide yes or no on that question, like I personally, let's say if I just choose yes, I believe he will get right. Then it becomes a matter of put that aside. First of all, what does he have left in the tank, and how can he be utilized, and what skill sets does he have, given that he did put all that effort in to get his body right and his mind right. You see what I'm saying?
I do agree with Kahari
that has
about
to be decided first. You know, and if you're a person that thinks he's not going to do that, then there's no sense in debating with a person who thinks that, whether he can benefit our team or not, because he won't if he's not going to put that effort in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think either option. I'm at the point now. I see your arguments. I see what Kahari is saying. You know, experience counts for something. I definitely agree with that. I think that what it's going to come down to, we've mentioned this before earlier in the show, this is a passing league, right? And I think, in my opinion, as much as we say we're going to focus on running the ball more, I think we're still going to be throwing a lot more. So which player, Dalvin Cook or Fournette, benefits your passing game more? That's the question. Which one's more versatile in the passing game?
I mean, Fournette probably has less chance of getting popped and hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
They both probably have equal skill set in hands and eyes. Dalvin Cook probably has a little bit faster a first step after catching the ball. But man, like I go with Kahari, the experience, the sturdiness, the fact that he's consistently leaking out in the right time to be open for the yardage they need for the first down. He's a Super Bowl champion. You know, played in Florida, is acclimated to Florida weather. You know, I mean, I guess you could argue Dalvin is too, but he's been playing in Minnesota for his career. You know, and trust me, Florida boy or not, okay, I spent 11 years in Missouri, and trust me, when I got back here, it was freaking hot. You know what I mean? And my Florida skin wasn't on me anymore. You know, yeah, I got reacclimated, but I ain't going out there to play football and this stuff anymore. Are you kidding me? Not after living in a Midwestern state for 10 years.
Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. It'll be interesting. I like both arguments. I'm 50-50 now, kind of, sort of. I kind of have to look at.
And then, of course, Ali, there's the money, because if I were to concede that Dalvin Cook edges out Leonard Fournette, maybe even a little more than edges out because of the fact of age and whatever else, right? Let's say I concede that. How many millions different is that worth? And is it like buying a sack of regs where it's like, hey, I shouldn't have even spent one dime on that because it does nothing for me. But if you agree that it does something for you, then you could put a value on that. And if that value is lower than Cook, and what we get out of that value is not much different than what we would have got out of Cook, not any other team, just we, and what we're trying to do, then it's a sensible move. You know what I mean? If we were looking to add upgrades to our running back room in the first place, if we're not, you know, if let's say the fans are not wrong and we haven't even been looking at running backs, let's say, and we're perfectly fine with what we got, then obviously there's no reason to even entertain it. But if you're talking about you set out to do something with Dalvin Cook and you end up with Leonard Fournette for cheaper, I don't think that's a bad deal. I don't think that's a bad idea.
Mm-hmm. I mean, actually, Color, I was going to say that Dalvin Cook was probably better in the receiving game. But actually, I'm looking at the stats, bro. It does look like Fournette puts out a lot more balance when it comes to the receiving
Fournette's completion percentage made a case for me to actually factor him into the wide receiver list, dude. When I did my stuff, I seen his name pop up a lot, bro.
Yeah. I mean, he has at least in the last 4 years, he's had everything higher than the 76% completion catch.
If I remember correctly, Ali, remember what my qualifier was? 60 receptions. If I remember correctly, Leonard Fournette had exactly 60 receptions.
When? For when?
I want to say for last year.
Last year, he had 73 receptions.
Okay, so I was wrong. It was one name that kept popping up at 60 that was a running back. I forget who it was. I thought it was Fournette.
The year before that, he had 69 receptions.
Right. So you're talking, and even last year, in a diminished year, where they don't have Tom Brady anymore. You know what I mean? They're not on a run, and he still gets 70-some receptions.
So both of these are good options, either Dalvin or this, but for different reasons. You know what I mean? You also have to look at the style of football that the Vikings play versus what Tampa did. But he even had a good reception season in Jacksonville. There's one season he had 76 receptions.
Yep. That was with Blake Bortles.
Yeah.
And Kahari, I believe it was Blake Bortles. Kahari says, Ali, Fournette is a skinnier, faster Keith Byers at this stage of his career. Man,
Keith
excellent
Byers,
comparison.
That is a good name. Damn.
And Joe also says, Joe Levesque, shout out to Joe. I haven't said hi to Joe in a while. How you doing, buddy? Fournette may be the guy to get the tough short yards and can kill clock late in the game. Absolutely. If you can get him and Risner, sign me up. Oh yeah, excellent point.
100% with that.
Because even though he's not a Derrick Henry, but he is a hard runner. He does hit the hole hard.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. You know what I mean? I guess Dalvin Cook just looks appeasing to me because I'm looking at the rushing yards, and I felt like we need to focus on that so much. But then when you look at the macro of things, of the fact that we are more of a passing game type of team, and how formidable he's been in the passing game consistently, I kind of like Leonard Fournette on this team too. So at this point, I'll take either or, but for different reasons. I think, in my opinion, you could get a Leonard Fournette maybe a little bit cheaper than a Dalvin Cook. That's a possibility.
You can probably also get out of Leonard Fournette next year easier.
That's true. I agree. He's aging, so I could see that.
I wanted to give Noob a chance to throw a shot at Color real quick. If you want to read that comment, you're more than welcome.
You're also 74 years old, Color. Too old to be out in that heat. You just need some Metamucil and a nap. Damn, Color.
He ain't wrong, man. It ain't been that. He ain't wrong. It ain't been this hot since the end of the Roman climate optimum.
Damn, but yeah, like if you could get Fournette at a lower cost and still get Risner at the same time, that to me, that's a good combo. I would take that. I think that's two different positions you definitely upgraded at, and it changes the perspective of this team a lot more than just one player. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of interested to see what happens. I kind of like the perspective of Fournette being here now. That
I think it's a more sensible move in the long run, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure, but it
understand.
feels like a more sensible move.
It kind of does. It kind of puts in a placeholder, so you don't necessarily have to buy all into, to Cook and, tie yourself to him. It allows you to, venture off and not necessarily overpay into the running back room, essentially. Is kind of what I was looking at.
Exactly.
But
I
Color, we
wanted
do
to
have to
expand
shut
on
down.
Mr.
Go ahead.
I know, bro. I just wanted to expand on Mr. Polk's point real quick as a final thought. Talking about injury concerns. The NFL injuries he's had have been kind of minor. Yeah, he's been pretty durable, and he also surprised me like McCaffrey did when he had a fairly decent injury after Jackson. In other words, when Tampa Bay was trying to retread him, I thought, this ain't retread, and he actually performed just like McCaffrey did after injury. So I'm not too concerned about injuries, Mr. Polk, either.
Yeah, definitely. I got one question for you, Color, and the audience can answer as well, and then I have to shut it down. Okay. If you remember, right before Leonard Fournette was on his way out of Jacksonville, there was wasn't he kind of hot-headed? He caused some fights along the sideline after some sloppy play and stuff, and there was he got into a punching match with a player, I believe, and he got walked off the field.
Good on him if he did.
Well, my question is he still a hothead? Is what my question is.
I
don't know. I don't follow him as much. That's why I have to ask.
I said, that weight was Disney World food, bro. He was at Disney World with his kids after the Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
I understand.
I think he's probably settled down in life in his head.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I want to make sure is I don't want to just bring hotheads here. We have one of the, and it's for a good thing. We have one of the biggest egos here.
That might be what made him better in Tampa, is that he matured a little and kind of grew into himself. You know what I mean? As a man, that could be very well why, he was able to put it together in Tampa.
Lewis, are you saying he's not worth it? Lewis says, Cook, I get it, but Fournette, I would be pissed. He's worth it. Are you saying he's not worth it?
Or maybe he's saying he's worth it, as in Cook's worth it. That could be also, but same difference.
Okay, Lewis is saying that Fournette's not the guy anymore. See, that's kind of what I saw last season and why I'm questioning, but I'm looking at stat, and if the stats are going to be similar, that's kind of why I'm okay with it, a little bit. Plus,
again, and I don't disagree with Lewis. I'm just saying he proved me wrong when I've already thought about him once. You know what I mean? He already proved me wrong, so it's hard for me to, be wrong again. You know what I mean? I'd have to be like, the old saying, fool me once, Definitely. I don't want him to perform after I'm like, no, he's too old and he's done. And then he comes out and blasts everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. All right, Color, you got any final thoughts for us?
That'd be it. Appreciate all 35 of you watching with us now. Those of you that are rolled in a little later, pretty soon I will be giving an outlet for y'all to continue the coverage with Coffee and a Cup of Color. I got to get this quarterback list done because, I'd rather do that than sit here and talk about, beating dead horses all day and trying to search for news. But I should have it ready for tomorrow morning. So after Top of the Tailgate tomorrow morning, we will be having a Coffee and a Cup of Color. And we will be finding out just who is the top 25 most productive passers of 2022. And I'll explain, obviously, why I'm specifying passers, because obviously, talk about getting in the weeds if you start factoring in the production value of these quarterbacks running games. You know what I mean? But suffice it to say, quick little tidbit on that note, I'm not dealing with the running. I'm strictly doing pure passer production because, look, whether Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen chooses to run the ball themselves or whether they choose to hand it off, it's still the same thing. So I would have to go and factor every quarterback's running back one's production and factor it into their production to be fair. So I left it out altogether. And I left out I didn't make it about overall quarterback production. I made it about passer production so we can all see who's clearly the passer, because remember the debate started between who's more important in production, who affects production more, the wide receiver or the quarterback, this or that. That's what started this whole thing. So that's what I'm going to keep it at. And we're going to find out who are the most productive passers of 2022. So look out for that tomorrow morning.
So look out for a cup of coffee with color. Definitely check him out in his passer breakdown. So definitely check that out. This is Top of the Tailgate, Monday through Friday, every Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. We'll be doing a morning show with me and Color. We got some interviews lined up for some special guests that I'll be advertising. I got to get the scheduling down a little bit, but we'll have some interviews up in here, more content to bring, more news. Again, this is Top of the Tailgate. I appreciate everybody. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. We wouldn't be here without any of you guys, and that's the one thing you guys can do so we can keep bringing the content. And again, I love you all. With that, Fins out.
Yeah.